Hey everyone, I was Swanton007 here to do some more 2002 pay-per-view reviews. And we'll start this off with No Mercy, 2002. It started off with the first match of the night was a World Tag Team Championship match between Chris Jericho and Christian versus Goldust and Booker T. Jericho and Christian won in a fun match with a bulldog on the title belts and a moonsault from the top rope. In the match, Jericho broke the ropes when he went for a lionsault. Apart from that, it was a good match. 3 stars. Then we have Dawn Marie versus Torrie Wilson. Much more entertaining than I expected. Maybe I'm just so used to the Divas crap that even slightly better crap looks better to me now. 1.25 stars. Then we have RVD versus Ric Flair. It's a funny promo by RVD before the match, impersonating Flair. But personally, this was a boring match that RVD won with a 5-star. The commentators tried to put this over as a huge win for RVD, which it should have been, but considering Flair cleanly lost to Rico a month earlier on Raw, I'm not buying it. Then we have a Cruiserweight Championship match between Jamie Noble and Tajiri. The Cruiserweight division may have not always received the proper exposure, but when they were given some decent time with quality wrestlers, it delivered. With the exception of Mysterio, these were the 2 best Cruiserweights at the time. A nice little forgotten gem from 2002. I'd rank this behind Billy Kidman Tajiri from Backlash for the best Cruiserweight match of 2002. 3 stars. Next match is a title unification match between the World Heavyweight Champion Triple H and the Intercontinental Champion Kane. Triple H won the match with a pedigree in an okay match. Most people hate this match because of the angle that led up to it, and because they dissolved the IC title match. The IC title. It was pretty bad for the first 10 minutes, but once Ric Flair arrived on the scene, it picked up a little bit. 2.75 stars. Then we have a WWE Tag Championship match, which was the finals for the tournament, which gave these guys the first ever champion. Was Kurt Angle wins this match with an ankle lock. Wow, it was like, yeah, you really knew these might fall. Yeah, Kurt Angle won. You know these 4 might be the crazy, broken down, dead, or a combination of all 3. But this night they were on. Not only was this match intense, action-packed, and exciting at every turn, but it was creative in how they wrestled one another. One of the best straight-up tag matches I've ever seen. 4.5 stars, probably match of the year. Then we have a women's championship match between Trish Stratus and Victoria. A lousy match that would have been better at Survivor Series the next month. Trish won with the Stratus faction. 2.25 stars. And we have a Hell in a Cell match between Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. Something really disturbs me about this match is that Undertaker stopped selling the broken mid-arm mid-match. But it was still a good match that left pictures of Undertaker bleeding all through my head. It was brutal. Lesnar won with an F5 in a match where I thought it would be worse than it turned out. Very happy with the result. 3.75 stars. Then we have Survivor Series 2000 and... Oh wait, overall I gave the pay-per-view an 8.5 out of 10. Then we have a Survivor Series 2005, 2002, and that started with an elimination tables match between, which had Jeff Hardy, Bubba Ray, and Spike Dudley on one team versus 3 Minute Warning and Rico. Wow, Jeff Hardy really really repeated his 2002 performance and hit the swanton off of the runway to eliminate Rosie. Then Jamal hit the splash off the top turnbuckle to eliminate Hardy and leaves Rico, Jamal, and Bubba Ray. Ray with the power bomb off the top turnbuckle through the table. Ray ended up winning the match with a little help from Devon with a 3D. A spot fest match, which is really my favourite type of match, which is a great way to start the show. 3.5 stars. Then we have the Cruiserweight Championship match between Jamie Noble and Billy Kidman. Billy Kidman won the match with a shooting star press. This was the way to this was the end to Noble's title reign, which was the longest so far in WWE. 2.75 stars. Then there's a hardcore match for the Women's Championship, which had Trish Stratus and Victoria, versing Victoria, sorry. This was the second women's hardcore match in WWE, and I personally thought that this was a great women's match, especially when Trish brought out the ironing board. It was hilarious. I think why I love this match so much was because it was a change in the usual women's matches. And Victoria won with a fire extinguisher to the face, and then a simple snap suplex, which is a really disappointing end to the match. Overall, I gave the match a 3 stars. Then we have a WWE Championship match between Brock Lesnar and The Big Show. This was about to be an absolute squash of The Big Show, and then Paul Heyman turned on Brock Lesnar, which caused The Big Show to win his second main event championship ever. 1 star. Very disappointing. Then we have Triple Threat Elimination match for the WWE Tag Championships. Kurt and Benoit are the first to go with a spear from Edge. Los Guerreros win with a submission from Eddie on Ray. I think it was like a loss. Something. A good match with an entertaining, fast-paced, lots of high spot jumps and stuff from Ray, which was very entertaining. Then we had a promo right before the main event, which Chris Nowitzki comes out and just bags New York, and then Matt Hardy comes out and turns heel by agreeing with him, calling them all stupid and idiots. Which then causes Scott Steiner to return and whoop some ass. He got a huge pop, monster pop. Huge cheers. The crowd definitely remembers him. Then we have the first ever Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H versus Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho versus Kane versus Booker T versus Rob Van Dam. I'm just going to name some spots. There was an awesome spot where RVD jumped off a pod and hit the 5-star Triple H. Jericho got eliminated when he had the walls on Triple H, and then HBK came out of nowhere and super kicked him, which was pretty cool. HBK hit an amazing elbow off the top of the pod. Shawn won the match with a super kick from nowhere after reversing the pedigree. I really think that RVD should have won the title, which would have allowed for Triple H and Shawn to rival without the title and really last for some cool main event matches with RVD. But as we know now, HBK would only hold the title for a month. But apart from that, it was a fantastic match. 4.5 stars. Then the last pay-per-view of 2002 was Armageddon. Oh wait, overall for Survivor Series, an 8.75 out of 10. Then we got the Armageddon 2002, which started off with a 4-way elimination match for the World Tag Team Championships. Booker T and Goldust was versing Chris Jericho and Christian, versing Dudley Boys, versus Lance Storm and Will Regal. Dudley Boys and Regal were eliminated fairly quickly, and it just buried the Dudley Boys after they had like a 7-week winning streak. Towards the end of the match, Booker T got noticeably lazy and lethargic, but it doesn't really matter because Booker T and Goldust finally pick up the win with a bookend and the championships in a feel-good type match win after they had been pursuing these titles for a long time. 3 stars. Then we have Edge versus A-Train. A-Train got DQ'd with a terrible chair shot to Edge's knee. Edge snapped and destroyed A-Train with the chair. Not a great match for Edge, but not much talent to work with, so it was fair enough. Then we had the match of the night, which was Chris Benoit versus Eddie Guerrero. What a match. What a match, as these two always bring to the ring. Benoit won with a crippler crossface after Eddie tried to roll out of it. But Benoit held on and won, which was kind of cool. During the match, Benoit hit 7 Germans on Eddie, and the crowd stood and applauded. It was simply incredible just to see everyone stand up and applaud. Shows how good they both were. As I say were, we both know they're both dead, and WWE doesn't recognise Benoit. Then we have Dawn Marie and Torrie Wilson in a promo. The two of them make out, and we assume they go the whole way. This gets a huge pop, but it's a waste of time and should easily be on SmackDown, not pay-per-view. Then we have Batista's first ever pay-per-view match versus Kane with Ric Flair in his corner. This is Batista. It was a poor match, but better than the A-Train match. Batista did botch a powerbomb, but still won with a little help from Nate. 2.25 stars. And John Cena also appears for his first time ever. Appears for his first promo ever on pay-per-view. Just says some shit about how he's the best. I don't know how ladies want him. Then we have a triple threat match for the women's championship match. Trish versus Victoria versus Jacqueline. Jacqueline was actually very impressive in this match. Victoria was alright. She's a cool new entrance, like tone sort of thing. Trish botches as always. This was an okay women's match, but it was at least quick. I think that this only seemed better because the match before really wasn't that great. 1.5 stars. Then we have the WWE Championship match between Big Show and Kurt. Kurt won this okay match with a big F5 and help from Lesnar. This is the end to Big Show's terrible run with the belt. Nothing special about this match at all. It just built to Lesnar's interference and Lesnar's babyface turn. 2.75 stars. Then the main event of the night, which really should have been a lot better. A 2 out of 3 falls match for the World Heavyweight Championship between Shawn Shawn Michaels and Triple H. The first fall was a street fight. The second fall was a steel cage, and the third fall was a ladders match. This was a really disappointing match. Triple H got the first fall with a pedigree. Shawn with the second with a splash off the top of the cage, which put Triple H through a table, which was really cool. And then Triple H got the third fall by shoving Shawn off a ladder onto 4 tables. This match just never clicked. Part of the reason was that Shawn's return was received much like Chris Jericho's was last year. A lot of fans resented the fact that he showed up expecting to be in the main event. The booking of this match didn't help. Having a cage fall right in the middle of the match wasn't probably the best idea. In retrospect, they probably should have started the match with a regular fall, then street fight, then went to a ladder or cage match in the third fall. Their gold standard remains SummerSlam pretty much. 2.5 stars. Overall, I gave Armageddon pay-per-view a 7.75 because of the disappointing main events. And only 2 matches above 3 stars. So that's it, guys. I'm Swanton007. Comment, rate, subscribe. I will be starting 2003 incredibly soon. Thank you.